Hello guys, this is Jack from Team Empire, and I'm sorry that this first thought segment hadn't come out sooner yesterday. I was super busy yesterday with like schoolwork and stuff. Like schoolwork came back just full force, so that kind of sucked. So I couldn't record my first thoughts on the new Bruce support from set 9. But I'm here now, and I'll be able to just create this short video letting you know my thoughts. And since card of the day was yesterday, and that also happened to be a Bruce card, we can actually talk about that card too, including this in a first thought segment. So that'll be fun. So we're going to talk about first Vehemence Bruce. If you all have seen my shorts video, which if some of y'all have, if you're one of the 500 people that watched it, thank you. That's really great. I didn't think the short would actually do that well, but we pretty much got it exactly right. Like, it has the exact same effect as people predicted. No Soul Blast cost, just a Counter Blast cost. On Final Burst, you stand a Diabolus column and then give those units 5k power. And then obviously you can go into Final Rush on turn 3 and Final Burst as long as your opponent's grade 3. So it's pretty good, pretty strong. It's strong based on like what else we have. And it seems like from what we have so far, the deck is pretty powerful. Because of the ability to go into Final Rush turn 3, you can actually use an older card from set 2 called Diabolus Girl's Maple, I think that's her name. So she says when she boosts a Vanguard, if you're in Final Rush, you counterblast 1 and then give your Vanguard triple drive. So you can immediately have Vehemence being triple drive. So even though you won't get any restands if you're going first, getting triple drive while your opponent's still on grade 2 without any kind of setup like Leonore could just be really good for farming defensive cards or just trying to sack, check triggers, maybe check the over trigger. So that's very cool. Next up, we're going to talk about some of these support cards. The first card we have is a common. This is a grade 1. Her name is Diabolus Girls Trish, who says continuous on Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle. If you are in Final Rush, this unit gets plus 5,000 power and plus 5,000 shield, and it's active on the opponent's turn. Overall, very nice. 10k shield, grade 1. That's also a 13k booster, which is very nice. And if you boost a rearguard with this and then restand it with your Vehemence Bruce, she'll be an 18k booster again. So that's just like a very good booster. And we'll talk about the other card you want to restand with this. But if you restand Eden with this and her, so the first swing will be 28. Without any boost, without Persona Ride and stuff, and then you restand it, they'll both get 5k, so it's effectively like giving Eden 10k power, so 38,000 power, with double crit because of Eden's effect. That's without triggers, without boosters. It's just a very strong attack. This one's forcing like more power into the restanders, rather than having orders or having Persona Ride stack the power. So overall, I think Diabolus Girls Trish is a very good card, especially for common. Next up is a double rare, which is Diabolus Knuckler Jammu, which says continuous on Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle. If you are in Final Burst, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and plus 5,000 shield, active on the opponent's turn as well. And then auto, when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, if your Vanguard is Diabolus Vehemence Bruce, cost Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 1, choose one grade 3 or less normal unit with Diabolus in its card name from your soul and call it to an open Rearguard Circle. So this is effectively like a replacement Lyle for Bruce, because it pretty much does the exact same thing. It doesn't Soul Charge as much, however it does Counterblast to call something from soul, which is very important for this deck, just to build up field presence, make sure you have those Diabolus units for some powerful attacks and restands and stuff. It's very good for that. And then his other effect is one of my favorite effects, just straight up, is always a 20k attacker as long as you're in Final Burst, and then it'll be another 10k shield. So Vehemence now has 2 10k shields, making it like a very tanky and resilient deck. If you're using Stephanie behind Bruce, your Vanguard's already going to be 18k. So if your opponent doesn't have ways to get rid of it, it's already going to make it annoying. But with all these 10k shields, it just makes Bruce a very tanky archetype. So I'm kind of happy about the defensive applicability of this new kind of side archetype for Bruce. And finally, the last card we'll talk about is actually the card of the day. So it's actually kind of cool that I was late here, because when I first saw these cards, the main thing was, alright, is this going to be like a Jiva situation? Because the deck doesn't have any counter chargers, and while Bruce did have a counter charger in the form of Helheim, it wasn't a very good card unless you can get it to Final Rush, because its actual generic cost is just discard a card to counter charge 1, which is never worth it for minusing yourself for 2. But that's fine, because for card of the day, we got Diabolo's Striker Greg, which is a grade 3. It says auto front row Rigard Circle. When you final burst, cost Soul Blast 2, counter charge 1, and this unit gets plus 5k power until end of turn. So this is the counter charge that Jiva always wanted. It's kind of funny that Jiva has to wait like what feels like forever to try to maybe get a counter charger, and then Vehemence immediately gets a counter charger in its first set. That's kind of funny. But so this is just a very good card. It helps. Now granted, it is a little slow. It's when you final burst, so it's not when you final rush. However, when you final burst is when you're going to start like counterblasting a bunch. So it's a very necessary card in the deck, and it's even more necessary because Vehemence doesn't Soul Blast for its cost. In fact, when I first thought about the deck, I was like, wow, you aren't Soul Blasting anything in this deck. So being able to turn this excess soul you have into counter charge is always nice. And in fact, you can pretty much just do this every single turn. It's not like an on-play skill. So if he survives and he just stays on the board, you can constantly keep counter charging, so you can keep using Vehemence's skill again and again. Plus, he also gets power. So that's very nice. Soul Blast 2 for a counter charge and power is very strong. Overall, I'm pretty happy with Vehemence's support. I was expecting it to kind of be like Jiva 2, where it's like, it's cooler, like it's more interesting, but it's not as good as the original, and was kind of just like we just need to lower the power level of this archetype. But it's actually not like that. I think they have a very solid direction of where they want to go with this deck, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, sorry for late upload. But hey, you got an extra card off of it, so you win some, you lose some. So anyways, guys, thank you, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.